Hey guys, it's Toni, and guess what? I have a brand new house plant, and I really love it a lot because it's elegant, it's sort of tropical, and the best thing about this plant is it's maintenance free. That's because it's not real. Now I've been looking all over for a plant just like this, and I haven't been able to find it. And if you can't find a plant like this, it's going to cost you close to $100. Now, the awesome thing about this plant is it cost me absolutely nothing because I made it. That's right, I made this plant. And I used things that I found around my house, that I had around my house already. So I want to show you how you can create your own house plant using just construction paper and sticks. So let's go. I'm really excited about this. I think you're gonna love making your own house plants. What inspired me to create my own plant was this plant here. This is a plant that I had for a number of years. It was doing really well for a while, but then it started to die. And I don't know why, but I couldn't save it. This is a sort of Dracaena plant. And I really like it a lot. I love the way it looked in my living room, dining room area. So I looked for another plant just like it everywhere. I looked at the plant stores and I couldn't find it. I looked for it as an artificial plant, couldn't find it anywhere. So what happens when I really want something and I looks like I can't have it? My mind starts to race to figure out how to make it happen. So I decided, you know what, I think I might be able to make this plant. So that's what I did. So I'm using what's left of my plant as a model to help me recreate a new one. So here's what I did. So I'm taking the trunk or the stem of my old plant outside so I can find sticks that are similar size, shape, and color. And here right away I found something that's pretty close. I'm going to try to find about 8 sticks like this at different heights. And lucky for me, we happen to have a lot of sticks. My husband made this big pile from cutting down trees and tree branches. So I was able to find some good pieces that I could work with. So let's take these inside. Inside, I found this old planter that I thought would be perfect to plant my new tree in. And to have something to plant my sticks in, I'm going to use this dry foam and hot glue it to the bottom of the planter. I cleaned up all my sticks and cut off extra pieces and branches that I didn't need and made sure I got the right varying heights that I wanted. Then I cut the bottom of the sticks at a sharp angle with the pruner so that I could push them into the foam. Once I got all the sticks positioned the way I wanted them, I used newsprint to stuff in between the branches to keep them secure in place. Then I covered the top of the pot with Spanish moss. To create my Dracaena plant leaves, I went through a stack of construction paper that I had lying around, and I pulled out all the green sheets that I could find. Since I want the leaves to be a natural green color like the original plant leaf, I'm going to paint the sheets darker green. So I mixed together a little blue, yellow, and a tiny bit of black of acrylic paints to make a natural green color. With a very wet brush, I used vertical strokes to brush the color onto the construction paper. I painted about 10 sheets, I let it dry, and then turned it over and painted the other side a darker green color. After all my leaf painted sheets were dry, I noticed that my natural leaf had a bit of a sheen to it. So I wanted to give my leaf skins the same kind of shine. So what I did was I used Mod Podge. I put a little on a wet large brush and I brushed a coating of the Mod Podge across the sheets. After it was dry, this gave it a little bit of a shine and made it feel more like a real leaf. Another option you can try to give all your leaves a shine is to take them outside and spray them all with a clear coating. I'm using a Krylon crystal clear spray paint. But if you do this, you have to make sure you let it dry outside for a day or so before you bring it in, because the fumes are very toxic. Okay, so now that I have all my leaf skins painted and ready to go, what I want to do is cut strips that are the same size and shape of the natural leaf. So what I'm doing is starting at a point and I'm cutting from the bottom all the way up, but not completely all the way through. I'm stopping right maybe a half an inch before the end of the sheet. Now on the ends of the leaves, I want it to be a very sharp point. So while I'm cutting the pieces, I'm curving in. I'm starting very close and then curving in so that there is a point at the end of the leaf. Now as I cut these leaves, the curve starts to get kind of severe. So what I'm going to do is cut that curve off so that I could start from a straight leaf again. So what I have is something that looks like a grass skirt. If you're pretty experienced with the X-Acto knife, you can use it to cut 3 to 5 sheets together at the same time. So using the hot glue gun, I'm going to attach the leaves to the top of the sticks that I put into the planter. Starting at the very top of the stick, I put a little glue on the end of the sheet and then I roll it around going downward. I add a drop of glue as I go down each turn. So I'm going down and around at an angle and I'm squeezing it together as I turn. And this is what I'm left with, a natural looking branch sprout. Now you want to make sure you remove all the little webs from the hot glue gun, and then you can go and do the same to each branch. So now that I have all my leaves on my tree, I want to go through and make sure all of the tips of the leaves are at a point. That's what's going to make it look like a real leaf, that the tips are really sharp. I'm also going to position and curve a few of the leaves to make it look really natural. And I'm cutting a few of the top leaves a little bit shorter so that it'll look like a more natural growth. So after bringing this upstairs and putting it where my old tree was, I had to say, not too bad for a homemade tree. I really liked the way it turned out. The colors, the variation in the color of the leaves turned out great. It makes it look really natural. And it is really close to the look of the real tree. So I am so excited that I got the tree that I love so much back in the place where I wanted it, bigger and better than ever. And I was able to create it myself.